colada here?
Granny's peach pina colada.
Granny's
I was tired of my lady.
doing all other flavors of it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Granny's Peach Tea. We are in episode 108 for those counting.
108, man. We are going strong. Look, I think we might get to 200, Ed. I say it right now in 108. We're going to 200.
You're making a prediction. This is it, right here. We're going to make it to 200.
That's right. That's what we've survived so much on this show. If we could survive the Super Mario Brothers, Fan 4 Stick, I mean, come on. We've survived a lot. The Spirit.
Yeah, we've been through some shit, but we're still taking it.
That's true. That's true.
But, listen, thanks for joining us on this Monday evening. As always, we got a lot of cool things to get into, but we are opening up with Escape, the Pina Colada song, which is from this week's Titans. And for those who are checking this out and checking out the spoiler talk, and it ironically ties into the Guardians of the Galaxy, which will start our Guardians of the Galaxy run next week. So,
yes.
Perfectly planned out just like the way we put it out there, right?
I think Farachi did that for us. Farachi's pulling strings.
Exactly. But yeah, thanks for joining us. If you joined us on the Facebook live stream, if you're joining us on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, wherever you found your audio on the podcast, we always appreciate all the support. And we want to make sure that you know that during this broadcast, you can support us with giving our page some stars and digital gifts that helps us earn money. So come hang out and talk some comic book stuff with us. We got some cool shit to get into this week, and some not cool shit. You know, depends on what your flavor of pina colada is this week.
That's right. That's right. And guys, we could get desperate. Don't make us rob the mob. I mean, just give us those stars.
Yes, because then when we have to rob the mob, we might throw money at people. I don't know.
We might have to. We might have no choice.
That's the ultimate escape. But yeah, we always appreciate all that support that's there. And Farachi is joining us.
Boss man.
Yo ho, boss man. And just 200? We don't want to guarantee anything past 200 because who knows? Maybe we'll get canceled at 200. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Look, I might Ezra Miller someone, you know, and then forget about it.
You might. You never know.
You never know. Never know.
And our buddy Don is joining us too. What's up, Don? What's going on, my man? We'll have to talk to Don otherwise because we have a run that we want to have him join us for. So.
We do at least a couple of those episodes, if not all of them.
And he knows what we're probably referring to based on the WhatsApp chat that we got going on PCP. We'll talk about that another time a bit further. But I'm Ed, and with me as always is Jason. Jason, what's up, dude?
Hey, good to be here. Good to see you, Ed. So I got two things to report this week, but so I'll do them quick. First, I saw Sweeney Todd for my birthday on Wednesday.
Belated happy birthday, my friend, by the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Great show. They cut a song that I like, but whatever. It happens. But the reason I'm bringing it up here because one of the lead roles, if anyone's familiar with the show, the role of Anthony, who's the younger sailor, was played by none other than Flash alumni Kid Flash. So I saw Kid Flash on Broadway. Yeah,
nice.
And he was good. He was good. I liked him a lot, and I'm very critical of that show because it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
So that's my sort of Kid Flash thing, and now my report from Westeros. I've just started season 5 of the Game of Thrones that everyone's talking about, or was about a decade ago. Lots of crazy stuff. So I got to the Red Wedding, Ed. I now know. I get that reference.
There it is. Yes.
I get that reference now. And look, I'm so good at dodging spoilers. So good. I didn't even know what the Red Wedding was. I wasn't expecting it. When all of a sudden, Madam Miss Stark, Lady Stark, and was that Robb Stark who gets killed? When they get murdered, I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? I did not see that coming. So good job on the Red Wedding. By Argus Filch from the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, by the way, so Richard Madsen now you know you're more familiar with him. That's my pick for Bond.
Oh,
The next Bond.
Which one is Richard Madsen?
Rob Stark.
I could see that.
Okay, so now here it is. I was on Double O Deep Dive. During my run of Double O Deep Dive, I was rambling about Richard Madsen being the next Bond. So there you go. Now you know what I'm talking about.
Now I can see it. Now I can absolutely see it. So what else? Tyrion's still my favorite character. Daenerys is still a very close second. The Lord Baelish is my third favorite character because he's just been revealed as an absolute slimy fucking like agent of chaos. And he killed the person I most wanted to see dead, which is King Joffrey. Long live the king. The king is dead, my friends.
Yep.
So
and his,
that was
his
satisfying.
scumbag replacement is who you're going to have to brace yourself for next.
Wait. The kid who takes over, his brother?
No. He's actually like a tragic situation, but there is...
Okay, no spoilers. I haven't gotten there yet.
No. But no, I'm just saying, like, you just feel bad for like him in general. No spoilers. But,
Okay.
No, there's a bastard that comes along eventually.
Oh.
I don't even know if he was introduced at that point, but man, he is such a
no, I think he is.
Is
it the one they were bleeding from the leeches? Who's like some of the king's blood in them? So they abducted him from the watch.
No.
Okay, all right.
You
so maybe I
haven't
haven't
met
met
him yet. Yeah, you'll know.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm again still digging the show. Starting to like the Jaime, the Kingslayer. He's started to grow on me.
Redemption arc.
Who else? Huh?
Has he started are they starting to put him in a different light now? Or is he still just a prick?
No, he lost his hand. He helped the woman who was trying to free him. Like he went back for her. Yeah, Brianna. Which awesome that like he comes to like save her and they're making her fight a bear. Super realistic in history, by the way. They used to do that shit in the Roman Empire all the time. I've been like binge listening to the History of Rome podcast from the beginning to the end. And one of their favorite things to do was to buy exotic animals and force people to fight them in the arena.
Wow. Yeah. Wasn't that like in Gladiator also?
Yes. Yeah. And that was, and that's actually in my podcast. I'm up to that particular emperor, Commodus. So, yeah, so that's it. So that's what I've been deep diving. I got Sweeney Todd, I got Rome, and I got Westeros. I'll give my Westeros report next week. At this rate, I should be done like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, you don't have that much more to go. Wow. And then that means you're going to pick up House of the Dragon, and you're probably going to be caught up by the time House of the Dragon returns.
I might be. Then I might actually have to watch it. If I really like it, I'll watch it weekly. My pick, though, for who I want to sit on the throne, and I know I'm going to regret it because I know everyone dies or becomes evil. I've just accepted that. But I still want Daenerys Targaryen because everything she has done so far, like just the fact that she frees the unsullied slaves and leads them into revolt against their masters and then frees them, and then they stick with her, of course, uses them to end a slave state in another like town, like everything. And then when she realizes everything has went tits up because she didn't put the right infrastructure in, she goes, fuck this, we're not going to Westeros. If I can't hold this, I don't deserve the throne. I'm like, this is the only person in the game who has any scruples or any idea of what the position is. Everyone else just wants power. She's made it clear that she wants to wield power for the greater good. So I'm hoping my girl gets the Iron Throne at the end of this.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to get your reactions, to keep reliving this with you because it's interesting. The twists and turns of Game of Thrones.
There's some good stuff. I am enjoying it. Although I am going to say one thing to the fandom though. What the fuck were you guys thinking? Ed, I'm asking you, what the fuck were you guys thinking bitching about no dragons? There's like a dragon every other episode.
I was not one of the fans that bitched about no dragons. I was absolutely like, there are plenty of dragons.
Okay, because I put you on the spot. I apologize. But
I don't care.
Knowing nothing about this show, all I ever heard was no dragons, no dragons, no dragons. So I go in expecting to see no dragons. By the end of the first season, I got 3 dragons who come back and play important roles in the plot.
No, listen, there's plenty of dragons. There's plenty of this thing. If it has anything, it has dragons, it has sex, and it has violence.
Yes.
Okay? Those are 3 things that this show has.
Yes.
What you will know, though, is that we've talked about the convenience zone on TV shows at times. And, yeah, the dire wolves are totally in the convenience zone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that already.
Yeah. Whenever they're necessary, they are there.
Exactly. So, good. Because I used to bitch about that all the time. And Angie's like, what are you talking about? They're over here. I'm like, where? Tell me where they are. You don't know where they are. Got the shit. A quick comment from Don before we get into our first segment.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Well, happy birthday.
Appreciate that.
There you go. Thanks, Don. All right. So we are a little late to the party, or not really that late to the party, but the Marvel Studios dropped a trailer for The Marvels last Monday. So, it was about a week ago, but we did our show on Sunday. So therefore, we kind of just missed it. So we wanted to go and get into this. So let's go ahead and we're going to watch it together here on and watch The Marvels. So check it out if you haven't seen it.
Captain Rambo? What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter.
Gonna get you some readings, Fury. Hello? Hello?
Captain Rambo?
Is this an Avengers test?
Where's Captain Rambo?
What the? Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Okay, so our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And I can totally show you. Hi.
Where's our daughter?
Wherever you were. We're a team. Oh, no. We're not a team.
We're not a team.
All right. So, all right, Jason, I know this is the first time we've seen the trailer, but your initial thoughts now of the trailer. Now, let's just explain to everybody where we talk about trailers to, besides the stuff that we know about it, is very simple. Did the trailer raise or lower your expectations of the film before you saw the trailer? Because we knew this was coming. So what do you think?
This looks like a lot of fun. I did not know what to expect in this. This has given me a good idea of what's happening. It seems like every time they use their powers, they switch places, which I think is hysterical. And yeah, I think this looks like a lot of fun. I like Kamala Khan. I think her being the audience in this of like, oh my God, the Avengers. Oh my God, I'm in space. Like everyone is super like, stoic in those space shots. And she's just like, yeah, I think this looks like it's going to be super fun. So yeah, I'm excited to see this movie.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't 100% sure. I mean, I knew I knew that we were going to get like the Marvels teaming up. I assumed it was like Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and then Photon, who was also Captain Marvel in the comics. So assumed that was going to be a thing, but the tone of it wasn't 100% sure. But yeah, with Kamala Khan involved, you would assume it was going to be a bit more fun. And the knock against the original Captain Marvel was, she didn't smile enough, it wasn't fun. And that's definitely happening here. I mean, there's no question about that. But yeah, it's a teaser trailer. But yeah, it has raised my expectations for it as well. And it's an interesting situation though here because we're into a place where the MCU films, right? And this isn't the first one to do it, but this one I feel like might be the most heavily, where it's like you had to watch the Disney Plus shows to get what the hell is going on here. Now, perhaps in the film they give you enough, backstory to the two of them. But I'm saying, if you watch this trailer, and let's pretend you didn't watch WandaVision and you didn't watch Miss Marvel, you probably would be like, what the fuck? Who are these people? What is going on here? Which is fine. It's just a trailer.
I recognize Kamala Khan from the comics. I would have no idea who Monica Rambeau was, to be honest, though, because I don't know her from the comics.
Well, I'm just saying for someone who's just watching the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Pretend like the casual fan, following that. But either way, though, I mean, at least the way I am, that would intrigue me to try to find out what is. And we have the internet. You can look it up and find out who they are and choose to watch the show now or both shows, or don't watch both shows. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, because the MCU for the first 3 phases did a thing where they would be like, okay, each movie was kind of like, you can jump in there. And they give you enough to get you through that movie. But then if you watched everything else, you got way more out of it. Right? Now it's like, are you going to keep that going or not? Because if someone watched Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and didn't watch WandaVision, they might be wondering, why the hell is Wanda a villain now? What the hell's going on here? What kids is she rambling on about? What the hell is this? Again, I don't see a problem with weaving in and out of it, but maybe for some fans, I don't know.
And here's the thing. I mean, I get it. Like, not everyone wants to watch everything, and that's fine. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't mind it because I am watching all of this stuff, and it's one of those things that, if this was a fandom that I was only kind of half in, half out of, I wouldn't complain that I can't watch the next movie because I don't know any of the characters. I simply wouldn't watch the next movie because I'm obviously not watching everything anyway. So like, if we were doing like Star Wars is something like, now, like, I love the original trilogy, but everything after that, I'm just kind of like only half paying attention to. If a Star Wars movie came out that I would have had to have seen, all the Mandalorian, let's say I didn't see any of the Mandalorian, I just wouldn't go see that movie if I wasn't interested enough to see the Mandalorian. I wouldn't go online and bitch about it. I wouldn't decry that my childhood was robbed from me. I wouldn't, shit all over the movie on the internet. I would just go, well, that's obviously not made for me because I'm not interested enough in that show, and I need to watch that show before I watch that movie. So that's kind of where I'm at it with it. Like, if you don't want to see it, don't see it. But for those of you who have watched the show, this looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that also ties into the conversation of like, the MCU not, listen, even their unsuccessful movies are still making plenty of money. They haven't had something that was like Shazam, Fury of the Gods, like box office wise. That movie has totally fell on its face. And DC has a lot. It has. Unfortunately, it really has. And Marvel hasn't had that kind of a thing go down. But it's not like everything they pump out is close to $1 billion movie at the moment. It depends what it is now. Like, it goes from movie to movie. So I do wonder if that is part of the introduction of the Disney Plus shows, is possibly something that might be affecting their box office. Or their critical reaction or not. But you're right. If fans like us who are all in and we're watching everything, great. This is a payoff for me watching the shows, even though I don't watch the shows because I want a payoff in a movie. I watch the shows because I'm interested in different characters in that universe. But now it's like you're rewarding them for like, all right, you set it up and here it goes. They're all together. But knowing them, I think they're going to give you enough backstory to know who they are. And it's like, hey, if you would like to know, remember in the comics, they would put the little bubble from issue numbers, Amazing Spider-Man 348, something like that would be really cool, where it was like, hey, if you would like to know more, watch Miss Marvel. If you would like to know more, watch WandaVision.
Like the old pop-up video? Pop.
Something like that. Yeah, I would get a kick out of that. I think it would be a blast.
That'd be funny.
I don't think they're going to go that far with it, but I would absolutely love it. another thing is like apparently this trailer is like the most disliked trailer on YouTube. It's like, what?
Why? What? That's fucking crazy. That's just crazy. There's what's wrong with this trailer? You could watch it and go, that doesn't look like that. That's not for me, or I don't want to watch any of those shows. And that's fine. But like, what's wrong with the trailer? Beside the fact that there are 3 women and 2 of them are women of color. I mean, let's just call it out there.
Yeah, and unfortunately for some people, that's a problem, and it's dumb that it is a problem. Like, hey, heroes come in all walks of life, so that's a thing. It happens. And you want to know something? This movie, right? Besides Captain Marvel being in this, the other 2 characters, Rambo and Kamala Khan, their shows are 2 of the best Disney Plus shows that we've gotten so far. So ironically, it's like everything should be going in favor of this movie, and I really hope it does well because I get a good feeling about it. Like this is going to be one of the better MCU movies we've gotten in a little bit. Even though I got super high hopes for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because, again, the first 2 are good, they're enjoyable, and it's James Gunn, and we got that. But I don't know. I think this is going to be pretty damn cool. I honestly have a feeling it'll probably be better than the first, better than Captain Marvel.
Oh, I 100% expect to be better than Captain Marvel. And I like that movie. I don't love that movie, but I like that. It unfortunately falls within the purview. The same thing that Ant-Man and the Wasp fell into that I explained on that episode is it is the 2 movies in between the Infinity War and Endgame. And it's not that I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit enough about those 2 movies because I really wanted to see Endgame. You know what I mean? But I've rewatched that. I mean, it's a fun movie. I think it's cool that she goes back to the 90s and they de-age Sam Jackson. Like, I don't know. I don't know why people hate that movie. I think it's fine.
Yeah. Well, probably for the same grade A baloney reasons that we gave for the trailer getting so much hate. But
right.
If you're reading any of the articles about people hating this trailer, check out the trailer for yourself. Make your own opinion. But if you're a fan of the MCU, I can't imagine how you would think this looks like crap. It really doesn't.
And Goose is coming back, guys. Goose is there.
Yeah, which, by the way, my favorite part of that entire trailer, besides, we getting Beastie Boys Intergalactic, is Kamala Khan's reaction to the Flurkin. They're just like, oh my God! Like, what
hysterical, yeah. She makes me laugh in that trailer. Just her reaction to everything. Like, just appearing in Monica Rambeau's spacesuit, like, oh, Nick Fury, is this an Avengers test?
Yeah, no, she's adorable, and she's gonna be a lot of fun in that movie. Like, I mean, come on, there's nothing to dislike about it there. But, all right, well, let's go ahead and jump into our shows of the week. First up, we got Gotham Knights, episode 5, and Jason. What do we got this week? Besides, we're done questioning the existence of the show. Let's just tackle this.
Just get on with it. All right, so the gang decides to rob the mob. That's it. That's your plot. They say that twice in case you didn't get how clever it was the first time. But pretty much they decide that they need to steal some piece of tech, right? It's some piece of tech from the mob that they need to clear their names and unravel the mystery that the Court of Owls killed Bruce Wayne. Oh, what a mystery they have. And so they go to rob the mob. They realize that there's a shitload of cash on a, like, which I don't know who does this, guys. I'm sorry, but the mob has one of those like pallet jack that you use with the forklifts and shit. Like I used to move them all the time at the Home Depot when I worked there. It's a pallet full of cash. They say it's like millions of dollars. And of course, Duella starts throwing it in her bra and shit because she just wants to steal it. And instead of like getting on with what they're supposed to get on with, they're having this big talk very loudly in the compound of these mobsters about stealing this money. And one of the mobsters finds them, except, oh, wait, one of the thief's sister dated him. Oh, boy, this is going to be wild.
Oh, my God. It's such a waste of time on that topic throughout the entire episode. I'm like, what the fuck? Why does this matter?
It just keeps going back to it, and it doesn't matter. They literally could have bashed him on the head from behind and had the same effect. They didn't need to have a relationship, except we wouldn't have 10 minutes or 5 minutes of the siblings bickering. And then we'll just finish up this A plot, and then I'll give you the B plot. Notice both B and plot are in quotes. Then they devise so they pretty much say, as the mob tries to break in, hey, we're going to torch this money Joker style if you don't leave us alone. So then the mobsters go, whoa, we don't want them to torch the money Joker style, guys. Let's call the police. And then they call a whole army of cops that are on their payroll. Now, I don't know how this is supposed to stop them from torching the money. Adding more people outside, the problem isn't that you can't get in and overpower them. The problem is that you can't do it before they torch the money, and doubling your numbers doesn't double your speed.
And then some of the goons are dressing up in GCPD attire, and that somehow gets them in faster.
I don't because they're supposed to be real cops, right? That's the thing, but I don't know how them being real cops makes them get in any faster.
Doesn't
these guys? This is the mob's hangar. They had the key, I'm sure, to get in. But anyways, the plan is they pretty much load. I don't know when they have the time to do this, but they load all of the money into this van that's there. Luckily, that van is there, and that they could get into it and drive it because it must have had the key in the ignition.
Yes.
And
Jason, the key was probably in the visor. They probably tipped the thing.
Because everyone does that. Everyone does that because no one steals.
I do that all the time.
All the time. Just put it right up there for the car thief to get. And so then they as soon as the cops breach the perimeter, they blast past them with the van, and then a whole chase ensues where everyone but Duella makes the stupidest decision I've ever seen. And goes, I know what'll stop the cops. We'll just throw all of this money out on the street, and that will stop them. Now, I don't know how that was supposed to stop them. It doesn't even slow them down, because people aren't running out in front of speeding cars to pick up this money. It does nothing. It doesn't even distract them. But they somehow get away anyway. But they've dumped all this money now, and they've given it back to Gotham. Ah, yes, you've thrown money. Come on, that's so stupid. And then they get back home, and the media says, "Well, we don't know who these Gotham Knights are, but they sure did help the city."
DiCaprio.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing.
So fucking stupid. And so that's the A plot. And then the B plot is, I think we're getting Two-Face, guys. Yay. A Batman-less show is going to give us Two-Face. Because Harvey Dent has a history. His father was abusive, but they're making it like he had multiple personality disorder, DID rather, dissociative identity disorder, as it's called now. He's going to see a therapist friend because he keeps blacking out. And then he wakes up in bed with someone that he snubbed in the beginning. And it's clear that he has an alter ego. So we're getting Two-Face. I don't know if they're going to actually spend the prosthetic money to scar half the face. He might just go, I'm Two-Face. And that's it.
Oh, man. I was so annoyed when I saw once I caught on exactly where that was going, when he starts talking about, by the way, he talks to Chase Meridian.
Oh, is that Chase Meridian?
Yes, they make sure that it says it on her door.
I missed that.
When he goes into her office.
They were
not
really
the person he's sleeping with. Not the person he's sleeping with.
No. The therapist.
Yeah, the therapist.
Here's the barrel. This is the barrel of Batman, right? And on the top, you got Batman, the Joker, the Riddler, right? They somehow got Harvey Dent, but I'll believe Two-Face when I see it. But everyone else was gone. They just took a scrape and they went to the bottom of that barrel. They went, Chase Meridian. Yeah, we got Chase Meridian in our show. And Yeah, we got the Robin from Dark Knight Returns.
Oh man, I was so blown away when I saw Chase Meridian on the door because I remember like early in the episode he says Chase. And I'm like, no, really? We're using Chase Meridian in the show, like this grab bag of random Batman references. This is where we're going with. And then once I saw where the plot was going with his father and the DID, I'm like, wow, this is something. I know what it is. I hope that Two-Face gets set up for season 2. How about that? Huh?
So we never see
How
him?
about that? So we never see him. That's exactly how they do this whole big thing, and it's this big tease at the end of the last episode. It's like, nope. Not today, sir. Not today.
Oh God, I don't know where this show is going.
Yeah, and by the way, the Gotham Knights thing was just, I was like,
it was
wow.
Again. This show thinks it's clever, and it's not.
It reminded me of Fan Four Stick at the end when they get there, when they give themselves their name.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There were 4 of us, and I think we're quite fantastic.
Oh.
So stupid.
Oh man, yes, that's the level of entertainment we're getting from Gotham Knights, people. If you've seen Fan Four Stick, or if you caught our episode on our thoughts on it, this is what that's the level of what Gotham Knights has been to the CW verse over here.
So how long do you think this show goes before getting canceled?
I think, and I was talking to somebody about this earlier, right? My friend Joe, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I got to go back and I got to watch some stuff for the podcast tonight." And I mentioned Gotham Knights. He goes, "Is that a spinoff of Gotham, that other show that you can't stand?" I'm like, "No, but in some nights it feels like it is." But then I have to start wondering if it's worse or not. I told him about our deal. That if this show, the announcement happens of the cancellation, then we can stop immediately.
Okay. Love that deal. Love that deal.
Guess what? The more I thought about it earlier today, it's not going to happen until after the finale.
Ugh. Is this a 24 episode or a 12 episode show?
This has to be a 12.
Okay.
This has to be. There's no way. Well, if Superman and Lois is 12 or 13 around there, then yeah, and I think they're done with the 24 episode stuff. So, at least for the DC shows. But yeah, hopefully there is one DC show left standing after this season, and it's just Superman and Lois. Because this is tough.
This is abysmal. This is almost unwatchable.
It's a chore. All right, well, let's get to a show on the CW that is DC related, that is not a chore at all. Superman and Lois, season 3, episode 5. Yeah, so this one pretty much picks up right after last week's, where Lois is getting her chemo treatment in Bruno Mannheim's his hospital that he has set up. That's boasting that they have the best treatment for chemo in all of Metropolis. And that's where she's kind of doing what she said she was going to do. She's moving around the hospital, trying to get, in see what the hell Bruno Mannheim is really about here. And then Clark is also there with her. And I think one of the best scenes of this entire episode is when Clark is there and he's talking to 2 other patients that are getting their chemo treatment as well. And he's like taken aback by these 2 women that he's speaking to and their experience with chemo. And he's learning a lot. And it really made me think a lot about, man, this is Superman. And he's like facing, he knows he can't get cancer, but obviously Lois is pretty much almost like giving it to him in a way.
Well, I think he'd rather get it himself than have Lois.
Oh, he would if he could, but I'm saying is if he cannot get it, that's the only way he could somewhat close to experience it.
And I think this is like worse than that for him because he's got to watch Lois go through it. Yeah, I love that conversation with the 2 women because and this actor again, he's such a good actor. He plays this so earnestly, like just his face as he's listening to their stories. And like just the emotions he's having on his face about like empathy for them, worry about Lois. Like, he's doing so much with so little. And I wanted to call that out because this guy, again, fantastic. This is my favorite Superman. I say it every week, but I love this guy.
Yeah, he's, Tyler Hoechlin is absolutely fantastic. I mean, every week his strongest work is as great as Superman is as Clark Kent.
Yeah,
in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So he does get there's a lot of discussion about that, and then there's also a scene where Lois does run into Bruno Mannheim specifically, and they have a deep conversation about his whole thing of why he's doing what he's doing and everything.
And that's such a cool scene because he catches her in his office and he's menacing. He's a menacing dude. He gives me a lot of Tobias Whale like vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very different looking and very different looking actors, very different actors, but it's the same vibe of he can do menacing and then really pull that back and be really sympathetic. And like he comes in menacing and like, I've caught you, and he's like, you should just ask. Here, let me show you what's going on. This is the facility I use to save lives. I'm going to save your life. Now let me give you this awesome monologue about why I am dedicated to my neighborhood that no one else cares about. And it's like, I'm watching this going, I wish this guy wasn't the head of Intergang because I like him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely that kind of a villain who you could understand why his motivation, and his motivation isn't just mustache twirling, I'm evil. Like
right.
he has the whole package that he's bringing to this, and it's great to watch. So another like really big beat. This was a very emotional episode on a lot of levels, and these were two of them. Another one was, so the episode starts off with Lana Lang pretty much, she talks to I don't know if her last name is Bebo, the one who is with her, is with her ex-husband now.
Oh yeah, the
they've
reporter,
been together
a
couple of times.
Yeah.
So there's a thing where they're going to pretty much expose what happened to how corrupt the former mayor was. But throughout the episode, there's this whole storyline with his son, and his son is so broken up about it. And by the end of the episode, she decides, something, this is something where the truth is, we're just going to, like, for the sake of the town, for sake of Smallville, I'm going to bury it and let them believe who he was as the hero. And I'm just going to let it be. It kind of reminded me of The Dark Knight in a way.
Yes.
Like the thing with Harvey Dent that happens in The Dark Knight. And she decides that this is what's better for Smallville, she goes ahead and she names like this, I believe it's like a recreational center or something like that after him. Or maybe
it was
the town hall.
It was a town hall.
The town hall. And and it's like Vivo over there is taken aback by it, because like, wow, you're really gonna do this? And Lana's like, yeah. After I saw what his son is dealing with and what this town is dealing with, like, I'm gonna choose to just let it be, and that's that. I know what the facts are. I'll handle them behind the scenes, but the perception of him will be what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's a powerful choice, especially because it's set up clearly in the beginning that she's getting a lot of flack from the public because they're blaming her for shit that his corruption did. But she makes this really nice speech about, or nice monologue about letting the community and letting the town heal and move past this. And the way to do that is to just honor the dead and not expose them. And I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. There's also a whole Valentine's Day dance that goes on in this episode and stuff. And
right, yeah.
Yeah, well, which, to tell you the truth, though, there was a very fun moment with Lana's ex-husband.
I forget his name all the time, and I like him too. I just can't remember his name.
Damn it, no! I was gonna. Oh no, I'll look him up quick. What I was gonna say is that honestly, this season is making me, even though he kind of like, obviously he fucked up with Lana, and that's not like a cool thing to do whatsoever, but like, he's becoming somewhat likable. Like, you could just be like, listen, the guy fucked up, and that's that.
Yeah.
But they're making him like a redeemable character in ways. Like, he has this whole thing with, with Jonathan Kent there, and he offers him to come and
right.
like work at the firehouse and stuff like that on the weekends. But now he wants to do that, but then he can't because now his girlfriend is moving away, and they were going to only see each other on the weekends. So he has to make this difficult choice: like, do I volunteer for the fire department on weekends or do I not? And even his girlfriend is telling him, like, "Hey, we'll figure it out. You can't pass this up. Like, this is a big thing for you." Kyle Cushing, that's who it is.
That's it.
Yeah. But Kyle also like has this moment where he's talking with his new lady friend over here, Chrissy Beppo. That's who.
That's it.
It's Chrissy Beppo. So Chrissy and Kyle, he goes ahead and like starts dancing and stuff like that, and like makes this big scene of it.
I love that scene.
I thought that was great. I thought that was fucking cool, man.
I love that scene because he's like, "Hey, come on!" He starts doing this dance. He says something, I forget the name, but he says, "Oh, let me show you what such and such can do," and he uses his own nickname. And she goes, "Did you just refer to yourself by your own nickname?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." And he starts dancing, and he's like, "Come on and join me." And I love that moment. She goes, "What am I doing?" And then she just goes out there and does it. And then they so I think like officially they're together, right? Like that's them kind of making it public. And that's why I thought it was funny when she gets the call from Lana Lang later. It's when they're in bed after that night, and she thinks that it's because they made it public that they were together. So I thought that was kind of fun.
I think everyone knows but Lana at this point.
I think so, yeah. But you know what? Lana doesn't care.
She shouldn't care, but
she
I guarantee you she's going to care.
She's going to care, but come on. Eventually, she's going to have to go to John Henry. Come on.
Of course. It's like, listen, come on. Like, stop with that crap. Then there's also another thing that happens at this dance here where John Henry's daughter goes ahead and meets up with that dude from Metropolis that they had the party with.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, yeah, they go ahead and they get together. But so as emotional as this episode was, and I love this episode for a lot of those facts, and it really encapsulates why we enjoy the show so much. But then we find out at the very end that the DOD apparently Bruno Mannheim has gone ahead and busted open some secrets behind the scenes. Yeah. And then we find out the DOD has got some shit that, once again, they shouldn't have. So Superman's going to have to address this shit, like with these guys. Why do they have Bizarro's body, and now Bruno Mannheim has possession of it?
Because they were studying it to make a weapon, because they're the fucking U.S. government.
Dude, we're definitely going to get another turn as Bizarro.
Yeah. I think so, yeah, and it might be actually more true to Bizarro, like because that Bizarro wasn't brainless. That was just a mutated, fucked up Superman from that alternate universe. But this might be like the brainless Bizarro that we get when they bring him back.
Yeah, that like openly speaks backwards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would kind of dig that, even though I did like the fact that they went with the more real world Bizarro last season, but I'm kind of ready for
give me an episode of that and no more. I'm good. Like I would have hated it if it was the whole season last season, but it wasn't. They made the smart choice of what to do with it. If they plan on going, let's do some fan service for an episode or two, I'm with it. Just don't commit to it for a whole season. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed. No, I think Bruno Mannheim needs to be the big bad, or we also know that Lex Luthor is in this season.
He is. So I'm curious to see what role he's going to play. I actually, at this point, hope he doesn't come in until the end because I'm really enjoying Bruno Mannheim's time. And once Lex Luthor shows up, it's the Lex Luthor show villain-wise. So I'm hoping Mannheim gets a bit more time on the screen and time to flesh out that character. And I'm hoping like Lex is set up for the big bad of the next season. That's my personal hope.
I can get on board with that because we know that like even James Gunn essentially outright said that this show, since everyone seems to like it, is going to get, and those were his words, not mine, that everyone seems to like it, that it's going to get another season or two. So we might still get season 4 and 5 of this, or maybe he meant this one and one more.
Right.
I hope he meant 5.
I think we definitely have one more in us, hopefully, one more in them, hopefully 2. But at least even if it's only 1, they're going to go into that season knowing it's only 1. So they'll be able to sort of give us something good. And
if you're going to give us a Superman, Lex Luthor final showdown for this show, then I can get on board with that. That's actually perfect.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, and we don't have a movie of the week, but because Titans essentially was the runtime of a movie, and it kind of felt like these. We're going to drop the spoiler warning here because Titans did come out on last Thursday. So, as Jason Todd famously said, Titans are back, bitches, and this is it. This is the final 6 episodes of Titans, and
I'm so sad.
Yeah, Jason, I do wish they would get more, but watching these 2 episodes, and I know the writers came out and said that they wrote the writers of this and Doom Patrol were preparing for the end of their run to come, so they kind of did give this what could be how they would have ended it.
Okay, that's good.
I think that's a fair thing. Kind of like how Stargirl got to end theirs on the note that they semi wanted anyway. So, these 2 episodes, I mean, it literally says after episode 7 at the end, to be continued.
Yeah, so it is
so
like
it's kind of one
episode.
long episode. Yeah. So, with 2 episodes, not to because it's kind of goofy to get into episode 7 details when we know what happens in 8. But this show, the episode 7 picks up right after the big battle with Brother Blood. Sebastian has gone full Brother Blood now. I mean, he literally in the first 5 minutes of episode 7 rises out of the blood pit, and he's all in now. So he's there. We catch up with the Titans, and they're getting up from their battle there too. Gar did do something to save them, who Gar has not seen in either one of these episodes, because this goes ahead and takes them to a town that is basically protecting a horn that is a relic for Tridon. And that's what this is, and it gets weird. It gets really weird. Fucking weird. Yep. Jason, do you think if you're Dick Grayson, you're the head of the Titans, do you maybe just not go into weird diners anymore?
No, you gotta go into the weird diners.
You gotta keep going.
That's what keeps the plot progressing to the conflict. You gotta go into the weird diners. I think it's hysterical. They go into this diner, and everyone is like it's like a record scratch when they walk in.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. I love it because everyone's like, oh shit, and then the cop immediately starts harassing them. Right, like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, you should be heading on out. And I love Dick Grayson's trying to be like, well, I was it Chicago, Detroit? Where was he?
Detroit.
He's like, I was in Detroit PD. He's like, well, you're a long way from Detroit. And, they're just being real ominous, like small towners in a creepy diner.
Yeah. And it turns out that apparently Trigon's horn they find out through Lex Luthor, leaves them basically a detailed message with 2 parts to it. One of them is the location of this, and I love the fact that in the letter that Connor ends up reading, it's like, hey, Dick says that he's this great detective. Let him detect. Enough. Let him go on this little journey of his. Let him take his little Titans over there. I got something separate for you. And we don't find out what that separate thing is in these episodes, but at the end of episode 8, he's meeting up with Sebastian Blood one-on-one. And Connor he even ditches the Superman black T-shirt with the red S on it, and he's going to meet him directly head on one-on-one. So my guess is that Connor's thing that Lex left for him is going to be, hey, well, you're going to pick up my mission which I was on to get like this ultimate power thing. That's my guess.
Do you think this winds up ending with the resurrection of Lex Luthor? Like, do you think that's his plan? That because he's manipulating, he's playing chess beyond the grave here.
Yeah, and I can see him totally playing chess with Connor, even though he confesses like how much he sees his potential and he wants that. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I didn't think of that while I was watching it, but now that you bring it up, yeah, I can see that where he finds a way to bring Lex back, and maybe he's the one who's the big showdown. In the last episode of this, that would be cool. Actually,
that would be cool.
And I would love if it was like full on green and purple Lexo suit, because I just love the Lexo suit. Apparently, I have learned this over time. Yeah, I've learned this over time. I just love them. But the things that we get in the episode, though, is I was trying to go ahead and look up the name of the town because I freaking spazzed out on it. I will get that in a moment. Oh, Call's Folly. So
Okay.
they go to this place in the van on the the whole truck that they got going on there,
Scooby
and
van.
they go into this the Scooby van. It's the Titan Scooby van, and Starfire, Dick and Raven are in that van. They go ahead. They're going there because apparently to get this horn, you have to have certain type of a bloodline from there, from Trigon or anything like that, or you need to be from Starfire's home world, and that's why the two of them are with Dick, because obviously Dick can't do this, so they're with him. And in the car behind them, is Bernard and Tim Drake are there, and they're following them. So they go into this thing. It's like this warp thing where they vanish, and then Bernard and Tim basically can't follow them in there. So they go off on their own thing, and they're trying to find them. They end up getting, Bernard tells them like, "Oh, we only want to be friends. We should only be friends on this or colleagues." And they get separate rooms, and then they don't have separate rooms.
Then they get it on.
Yes, they absolutely do, and that's the thing. Deal with it, and so they go. They're kind of just operating outside, but in the town though is where Dick and Starfire and Raven, they end up going into this diner. Then they basically get drugged off of this like chocolate, this milkshake thing that's there, and they go ahead and they wake up in this house that's there.
Wild. It was wild.
They have different names.
Yep, and they were married. It's Dick and Starfire are a married couple, and there are pictures of them together. And it's like they're a family, and they have no idea what's going on. I love that aspect. It reminded me of both WandaVision and a very, very good episode of Angel, where one of them was sent to hell, and what that hell was they just took on this middle class identity, but at the same time, every day they had to go into the basement and be tortured by like a demon. But like outside of that torture, it's just this middle class life that they're leading. And so this kind of reminded me of that. It's like, okay, we're just going to put them in this middle class life together, and they'll be fine. They don't even remember who they are.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I did forget something because again, the two episodes blend together now. But yeah, how they actually do end up there as well is Dick goes ahead and he's going to meet up with the sheriff that says, "Hey, you're from Detroit. I want to see your whole setup and stuff like that since you're a cop as well." And he's like, "Yeah, meet me later after I get off my shift and we'll discuss." And that's where he goes in and they basically drug him, and that's how he ends up there. And then Raven gets captured as well, and that town is basically revealed to be a bunch of Trigon worshippers, and it is the Church of Blood that's there, that's protecting this thing, which is really fucking creepy. And they're gonna murder Raven because they're like, "Hey, in the prophecy, that Trigon didn't have a daughter, so you're done." What do they refer to her as? A Herrick, I believe it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they refer to her as a Herrick, and she's gonna go ahead and get murdered, and then throughout their whole deal, Dick and Starfire, they go ahead and they're trying to get out of this house and this whole thing, and they find out that the music that's playing throughout the entire town is slowly but surely warping your mind and making you forget who you were. And it's basically through that, and they do run into these two people who basically, one of them was deaf at the age of 10. The other person did it voluntarily to avoid this from happening. So they've been playing the game along with them,
which I thought was awesome. Like the fact that they're just and so the woman is the woman who does that record scratch look I was talking about in the diner. She's the waitress, and so it makes sense why she did that, because she kind of knows what's going to happen. And yeah, I love the fact that they're deaf, and that's why they're safe. And they're kind of tell like him like, all right, well, you got to do something because it's going to take over your mind. We see it take over Starfire's mind. Like it gets to Starfire first.
But there is one aspect of this, and Jason, it hasn't been forgotten about here. But of course, Batman still plays a way into this because
yes, he does.
Dick is once the Dick learns what's going on here
Yep.
and how they're going to get warped. We get another Constantine name drop, by the way.
We do, yeah. Look, we're getting Constantine in one of the either this or Doom Patrol. It's got to happen. They've been naming them left and right.
I think it has to happen in this, and it needs to be Matt Ryan. Just let it be.
I agree.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is Dick goes ahead and says, "Hey, me and Bruce trained me for something like this, and we're gonna have these recording devices, and we're gonna basically tell ourselves who we are, and we're gonna name a bunch of painful fucking memories." Because that's the stuff that jars you back. And Starfire calls him out right away. Is like, what is this with you and him and this whole thing? And she's pissed about it. She doesn't want to do it. And they end up separating and doing this whole recording. And as Starfire does turn, Dick keeps on holding out a little bit longer and battling this thing. He's talking, they show he's talking about his parents dying and moving in with Bruce and stuff like that. But then he gets into the moment where him and Starfire, all the way back in season 1, where they were together, and he didn't really get to, talk about his feelings there for a moment and how much she meant to him and stuff. So ironically, later on, she picks up his recorder and listens to that, and that's what snaps her out of it, which I thought was awesome. And that's also to me was a very last season of a show callback to the original season.
Yes.
And that's why I was even like, something, as upset as I am about this show ending, you're doing it right. I think they're going to do it justice.
I have no doubt this is going to stick the landing because it stuck everything else. Yeah. It's never failed. So yeah. I have no reason to believe it's not going to give us an awesome out. I just don't want to see it go. But what that scene shows us, by the way, is that with prep time, Batman could beat brainwashing. Even magical brainwashing.
Yes, he can.
Because it is Batman's technique. And this is a recurring motif in this show where Dick Grayson's like, hey, fun story about when my dad, Bruce Wayne / Batman, kind of traumatized me because he wanted to get me ready to be a crime fighter. Here's a skill he taught me. Like, remember when him and Barbara were listening to the recordings to try to figure out, like, he was like, this is a game that Bruce and I used to play. We listened to environments to see if we could figure out where it is, and we listened to crime scenes to see if we could reconstruct it from the sound. It's like, dude, that was your childhood, and this was another moment like that. But it's like, no. But everything he taught him, as traumatizing as it was, has helped in this show. It's all
works.
Justified.
Yeah, Batman's presence still felt in this show.
That's right.
Through Dick Grayson. And
I want to point out that when I talk about Batman-less Batman shows, I'm never talking about this show because this show gave us a season with a Bruce Wayne and then followed it up with a season of a Batman storyline. And even though Bruce Wayne wasn't there, Nightwing was. And Nightwing is the only person I will accept in Batman's steed in a Batman-less Batman show, because Nightwing is, in my opinion, Batman's true successor. He just doesn't want it.
Exactly. And again, but Titans is also still not a Batman show, though. I mean, his influence is in here, but it's not trying to it's not trying to take everything around him, but not him.
No, not at all. They gave us that one season, which was not Batman-less. I mean, yes, no. Batman-less, but it was like it had everything we needed outside of Batman. But outside of that season, it's a Dick Grayson show. Like, and that I think that's why it works, right? Because it's not a Batman-less Batman show. It's some of the Bat family with the Titans, and I just love Batman. So that's where my mind goes.
Likewise, and that's why I decided to go with the Batman show this week.
There you go.
So pretty much this horn that they're trying to track down does get captured by Brother Blood and Mother Mayhem. They do go ahead and make off with it. And this sound that's there, this whole music that they have to stop, they do find a way with teaming up with the family, and also they team up with Tim Drake and not Sebastian. I'm sorry, I was about to say, and Bernard. They meet up. They find that where this sound is coming from and this music is being played. They team up. They destroy it. the whole thing is lifted, and they are about to move on. And that's where we get the ending where Connor is meeting up with Sebastian. I guess we're going to find out more about what Lex's notes for Connor were essentially left. So super strong start, and it's just crazy. There's only 4 episodes left, but
God, I'm gonna miss this show so much because I think I've said this on the show, but like Dick Grayson is one of my favorite characters in the comics. Like Nightwing, and I haven't even read a lot of Nightwing, to be honest with you. It's just like I love the relationship between Dick and Batman. I love how it plays out after he becomes Nightwing. So I don't know, I love that character, and I think this actor is perfect as him. Like I like this actor so much that when they eventually bring Nightwing to the movies, and James Gunn does that, I'm not saying I won't accept the new person, but I'm gonna have a hard time because I really like this guy. I think this guy is Nightwing for me. This is Dick Grayson. So I'm gonna miss this show.
So let me ask you something though. Since we don't have a DCU Batman, how would you feel about him playing Batman?
This actor?
Yeah, him playing Bruce Wayne.
I'd allow it.
You allow it?
That
That would be some shit because I have no idea who James Gunn is going to select for Batman.
I don't know either, but he's the right age for the Batman they're looking for. Mm-hmm. I like him. I think he could do it.
Okay.
My only thing is I think I'm always going to see I'm always going to see Dick Grayson because of this, but I don't let that stop you, James Gunn. Because I do think this, like, I would like to see more from this guy, and I actually think he would make a good Batman. Like, he's got a Christian Bale look, though he doesn't look like Christian Bale, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. I know what you mean.
And I think he could do something good. And seeing what he did with the Nightwing role, I think he really could be good at it.
Yeah. And one other quick thing I did want to mention though before we wrap it up is there's also a thread in here where the town people are going to kill Raven, right? Because we know we did mention that, and we do find out that Brother Blood can't do it because they're linked. So if she goes ahead and he tries to go ahead and harm her, it shows up on him, and vice versa. So I was like, that was pretty awesome.
That was pretty awesome. It reminded me of G.I. Joe, Tomax and X-Mon.
Ah, yes, well played. Yes, the Crimson Twins.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so that pretty much wraps it up for us this week. Thanks for joining us as always. We will be back next week talking more Titans, and we will be starting our run of Guardians of the Galaxy with the original.
Yeah, we will.
Excited for that. Jason, CW shows are off next week. All of them.
Hallelujah. Except for Superman Lois. Hallelujah. Except for Superman Lois.
You want to praise Kal-El? I mean,
Kal-El, thank you. Thank you, Kal-El, for giving me a break in this desert of crap. I appreciate you being my strong point in Superman Lois, and I appreciate this break, my brother.
Yeah, I think it was we've earned it. I mean, we've been through a bit of a rough stretch.
No Flash also? We're flashless again?
We are flashless for the second week in a row. So
I'll take it.
It's fine. Listen, we're going to get to do Titans and Guardians. That's fine with me.
That's I'm good with that. I mean, I don't need to see Keon's finger painting. I mean, or fucking Chester and Allegra, breaking up and making out again, like they are the age of the kids who went to the Valentine's Day dance in Superman and Lois.
But listen, thanks for joining us as always. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, be sure to join the Granny's Peach Tea Facebook group. You can join in and check out the daily conversation, trailers, and stories that don't make the show every week. It's a lot of fun, so check that out. Also check out Pop Culture Pros and popculturepros.com because that's who we are presented by. Also, if you're checking us out on YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros, and on Twitter, follow at Pop Culture Pros, and wherever you found your audio-only podcast, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros. We got a lot of cool stuff on the network. If you're into baseball, We got a Yankee show called the Empire 161 Show. Dropped a new episode last night. So check that out. Mets are your thing. Check out the Put It in a Book show. If you're into sports in general, you can go ahead and check out the Unsportsmanlike Conduct podcast. And if you're into James Bond, if you're into we got a show called Double O Deep Dive, which Jason hosts with Ginny. And are you guys back this week? Next week?
I think so. I got to double check with Ginny, but hopefully we'll be back this Wednesday, covering On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I'm super excited to talk about. It is one of the most divisive James Bond movies, and it is one of my favorites. And the Bond girl is in Game of Thrones, so another connection, baby, another connection.
Who was she in Game of Thrones?
She's the girl who marries Joffrey before he's
really
killed. He's not that girl. Her mother.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
That's
that's
Rig from the Avengers. So
okay, what's her status with you right now on the Game of Thrones?
The mother?
Yes, the mother.
Oh, I like her a lot.
Okay. No, she's great. She's great in that show. She has a phenomenal line. But if that line didn't jump out to you, then she has a lot of phenomenal lines, but she has one that's like classic.
She has the great speech to her daughter right after because she engineers King Joffrey's death, which again points.
Yes.
But she says to her, like, she tells her the whole story about, like, I wasn't supposed to marry your grandfather. I was supposed to marry this other guy, one of the Targaryens. And I saw him and I didn't like him, his weird hair. And so then I got lost on the way home one night and found myself in your grandfather's room. And he was supposed to propose to your aunt the next day, whatever. He was supposed to with her sister. Except after that night, all he could think of was what I gave him the night before. And I married him. I was like, whoa.
Boom.
Yeah. And I love that
awesome.
actress. She just passed, I think, this year or last year. She was like in her 90s. Like, she was like a sex symbol in the 60s.
No, she's phenomenal on Game of Thrones. So
yeah,
you got some more time to enjoy some awesome shit with her. So
she comes back because she left for a while. She comes back.
No, she's back. She'll be back. You got more time with her. That's why I wanted to know, like, how much, she off the show or on the show or whatever.
Okay, good. I'm glad to know she comes back because she's such a presence and she's so good.
Yeah, she's great. But yeah, so come back and check us out next week for Guardians of the Galaxy and for some more Titans. So see you next week. Peace.
Later.